have 4 eyes built for maximum peripheral vision. Yet I never saw the hit that dropped me. Not even close. One moment I was tracking a heat signature through the digital fog of the simulation. The next, the ceiling had become the floor and my interface was flashing a critical failure warning. I didn't hear her move. It felt like fighting a ghost. One that struck with the force of a freight train. But just 20 minutes before my face slammed into the deck, I was laughing. We all were. It began in advanced tactics class with Instructor Valdor. The lecture hall hummed as hollow projectors displayed a textbook case of attrition warfare. Valdor, an enormous wall of muscle and chitin, was explaining standard urban extraction protocol. Maintain formation. Suppress the enemy. If casualty projections exceed 15%, execute a tactical withdrawal. The golden rule at Helios Vanguard Academy. Live to fight another day. That's when the new cadet spoke. Mara Sovic. Human. Small. Sitting in the back of the room, she looked tiny inside the oversized seating pod. Like a strong gust of wind might snap her in half. No claws. No armor. Fragile, or so we thought. We forgot that on her world, gravity itself is the first enemy. Retreat just exposes your spine, she said calmly. Her voice wasn't loud, but it sliced through the room like a laser. Valdor stopped mid-lecture. The hologram flickered out as he slowly turned toward her. Excuse me, cadet? The protocol assumes the enemy wants you to leave, Mara continued, still seated. If you turn your back in a high-density urban zone, you're not withdrawing. You're volunteering for target practice. Vex, the reptilian heavy-worlder, hissed with laughter. Grog's massive shoulders shook as he joined in. I laughed too. The idea of this soft-skinned human correcting Valdor's doctrine was ridiculous. Valdor, however, wasn't amused. His mandibles tightened. Since you seem to possess wisdom beyond 3 centuries of military doctrine, Cadet Sovic, perhaps a practical demonstration is in order. He didn't wait for her reply. Simulation deck. Now. The mood shifted instantly. The promise of violence crackled in the air. In the prep room, Valdor pointed at Mara. Scenario 7. Defensive hold. You versus a standard assault team. Then he pointed at Vex, Grog, and me. You 3 are the assault team. 3 against 1. In a simulation. Not a battle, an execution. I almost felt bad for her as I pulled on my haptic feedback suit. It locked onto my frame and synced with my nervous system, ready to simulate pain at 60% realism. Mara looked calm. Too calm. Valdor called it a suicide mission. She looked like she called it Tuesday. As she rolled up her sleeve to attach her suit sensors, I saw something on the back of her left hand. A geometric pattern etched in dark lines across pale skin. When she clenched her fist, the lines shifted. They glowed. A faint electric blue light pulsed in rhythm with her heartbeat. Hey! I whispered to Vex. What's that? Some decorative implant? He muttered, checking his plasma rifle. Doesn't matter. It's a target. But I couldn't stop staring. It looked like circuitry, organic, alive. The arena doors slid open, revealing the gray concrete maze of a simulated urban battlefield. Simulation active in 10, Valdor announced. Mara stepped into the darkness. For a moment, the only visible thing was the blue glow on her hand. Then even that vanished into shadow. We entered in standard assault formation. Grog at point, a walking tank of shielding. Vex and I covering the flanks. Suppress. Advance. Overwhelm. Textbook. We breached the target building and moved into the main atrium. Clear, Grog muttered as he stepped into the center of the room. That was the mistake. You never step into the center before clearing the corners. Before I could say anything, the shadows above us shifted. Mara didn't jump. She fell. From 3 stories up in the exposed rafters, she dropped like a weapon. Gravity wasn't her enemy. It was her ally. She crashed boots first into Grog's shoulders. The sound was brutal. His suit flared red, catastrophic spinal trauma. He collapsed instantly. Contact high, Vex screamed, firing wildly. Plasma bolts scorched the air. But Mara was already moving, closing distance instead of retreating. She slid beneath a plasma shot, swept Vex's legs out from under him, and before he could recover, drove a palm strike into his chest plate. Heart-stop impact. His suit locked up. Unconscious. 2 down. For seconds. I spun, raised my rifle and lined up the shot. She was exposed. Rising from a crouch. I pulled the trigger. Nothing happened. I looked down. She was inside my guard. I hadn't even seen her move. Her glowing left hand clamped over my weapon's receiver. The blue light pulsed violently, syncing with the rifle's electronics. My HUD flickered, then died. She looked up at me. Not angry, not intense. Bored. Bang! She whispered. She twisted the rifle free and slammed the buttstock into my solar plexus. My suit screamed 100% damage. Then everything went black. Exercise terminated, Valdor announced. Time elapsed. 87 seconds. The battlefield dissolved into the simulation grid. I was on my knees, gasping. Grog groaned nearby. Valdor stepped forward, datapad glowing. Mara casually adjusted her ponytail. The blue light on her hand faded back into what looked like ordinary ink. Does anyone know what a phase-shift neural interface is? Valdor asked. Silence. It is a combat augment, he continued, gesturing to her hand. It links the user's nervous system directly to local tactical networks. It predicts enemy movement through muscle tension and intent before the action occurs. He looked at me. She knew you were going to fire before your brain sent the signal to your finger. I stared at her hand. That wasn't a tattoo. It was a weapon. These are not standard issue, Valdor added, voice lowering. They are awarded only to survivors of the siege of Station 9. The room seemed to lose its air. Station 9 wasn't a battle. It was a slaughter. 6 months. Survival rates in single digits. Cadet Sovic has 212 confirmed combat drops. Valdor read. She didn't argue against retreat because of arrogance. She argued because she knows that when the walls fall, the only way out is through the enemy. Mara said nothing. She picked up her kit bag and slung it over her shoulder. The laughter from earlier? Gone. The fragile human jokes? Gone. As she walked toward the exit, the crowd of cadets parted in silence. No one made eye contact. No one even breathed. I watched her leave, rubbing the bruise forming on my chest. I have 4 eyes, 6 limbs, and a natural instinct for spotting danger. But as the door slid shut behind her, I realized something. I hadn't truly seen anything until her. Please follow my channel for more videos. One click from you can change my life.